is Cheryl Traxler with the Princess Lifestyle, and I want to talk to you about 7 tips to build rapport with your prospects. So, number 1 is very important. They all are, but number 1 is very important, talking too much. Now, someone could be wanting an answer to a little question. They're looking at what you got, right? So they just want an answer to a little question, probably want to see if you're real, okay? So they ask you a question, and it's like 30-second, okay, question. And really important for you to give them a 15-second answer. You want to keep your answer simple because it's just no good to, I've called somebody to talk to them and they rattled on and on and on and on, honestly. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And you're just about ready to throw up, really, because it's way more than you wanted to hear. And guess what? They're dead in the water because you're not going to call them. You don't want to talk to them again. You're just like so done with that. So don't talk too much. Very important. You just keep it simple. Answer the question, and don't complicate it. So, question number 2 is, tip number 2, not to know your product. How many times do you ask someone about the product and they kind of hem-ho around, yeah, we have a few packages. You'll get to see them. You'll like them. And you're like, what's that? Why don't tell me anything? Tells me they don't know squat about the product. And you're like, I'm done with them, and no, you don't want to do that. You want to know what you're talking about. So much, you do. It's like, they want to know what packages are available. You don't just say what, you say, okay, we have the emerald, the ruby, sapphire, the diamond, and the double diamond. We have 5 packages ranging from $100 to $4,000. Something for everyone there. There you go. Quick and easy. They understand where it's all at. They know that if financially they can do it, that answers their question. You know your stuff, right? That's really important. Let's say they say, well, what about the traffic? Because, I don't care what business you do, you got to have traffic. So they ask you about the traffic. You're like, yeah, we've got it all lined out. We've got, and they're just like, oh, and instead, oh, well, I use postcards. That's our best offline traffic. I send postcards, which, goodness, my kids could do, and makes it simple. Well, yeah, I could do that. Well, sure. I could put a stamp on a postcard. You got to make it simple. Don't overcomplicate, and know your product. You definitely want to know your product. And that's what this is about, and then they can, you know what it's like when you go to a store and you're in a special section and you're really passionate about what you're looking for, and you're really not sure about all the options, and somebody comes up to help you, and they know so much, and they're telling you, and you're just like, you feel so much better because you know they can actually help you, and they have your best interest in mind, and that's the key with tip number 2, is to know your product. Very important. So now let's go on to tip number 3. Don't believe in what you're selling. That is really no passion. You're just kind of like, well, yeah, it's all in the thing. You go there and look at, you don't believe in it. You don't have any passion for it. You're not crazy excited about what you do. They're not going to be either. Trust me, they're not. They don't want anything to do with it. So next, let's go to tip number 4. And that is, you don't want to overcomplicate it. You don't want to, overcomplicate the process. It's very important not to. You don't want to go, well, we got multi-funnels, we got websites, we got autoresponders, we got all kinds of emails, and it's like, they're just like deer in the headlight look, because they've never heard of an autoresponder. I don't know what in the world that is. And they're like, they're confused. It sounds complicated, okay? They don't know anything about those things, so they're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. So don't do that. We have no websites, we have no autoresponders, and no emails. Simple. Just send a postcard out. It's just a simple answer, and we always do that. So that's number 4. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't go on and on about stuff they don't have a clue about. People Do not. So that's tip 4. Tip 5 is actually selling your product. This is important too, because, you know, if you want to sell your product, how are you going to do it? You know, it's like you have a big support community. We have traffic tied in, all that. That's a good thing. But you don't want to say like, well, the mortgage is going to be $1,300 and, you know, it's going to take you 30 years to pay it off. And, you know, they don't hear that. They don't buy the house for the mortgage. They're not saying, well, I'm looking for a $1,300 mortgage payment for 30 years. They don't do that. They're buying the house for the pool or the kitchen or the bedroom or the bathroom or the jacuzzis. That's what they want. So when you're talking to somebody, selling your product, you better upbeat. You don't want to say, oh, well, it's $1,300. You know, don't be like that. Upbeat, or you're going to definitely lose them. They're never going to connect with you again. So be sure and highlight the positives and let them know it's going to change their family life. They can travel. They can do things. Their kids can do more. They can do more. They can be home. It's what everybody wants, to be able to boss their own life, not to have, you know, work 30 years, deadbeat job. So don't forget that selling your product is important, to sell what they're looking for. Very important. And now number 6 is appreciate the prospect's time. Very important, because, you know, let's say you make an appointment with them at 2 and you don't show up till like 2:15. Well, what are you saying? Their time isn't important, but yours is? I mean, that sucks. Never do that. You appreciate them being there. You tell them you're thankful for their time. You get there on time. You don't take all their time up. You know, you be respectful and appreciate their time. Very important. And be kind and thankful. So number 7, our very last tip, is it's very important to follow up. So if you don't follow up, which is, you know, the last tip, then you've lost them. You know, if they went out of their way to ask you a question or whatever, connect with you, and you never follow up with them, well, they're gone. You know, you got to do that. It's very important to follow up and care about people. Tell them about some webinar, simple, quick. You know, hey, this is happening today at 6 p.m. You want to be there? It just kind of goes over. You know, just follow up. Very important, too. So I appreciate you watching my video and learning the 7 steps. And just thanks for watching, and bye from Alaska.